What is going on, everyone? My name is Tom from Dreadlabs. It is Thursday, the 24th of April 2025, and we're back again with another weekly live stream. And this is something that I want to do every single month from now on, given that there are enough people that want me to do it. But I've had a lot of DMs and comments asking me when I'm going to do another feedback session again for the people in the community. So I figured let's do just that. Basically, I want to try to see if there's some people in our community right now that want to tune in. Join us on Discord, send over your designs, and then I will give you feedback on it. It's as simple as that. So yeah, that's basically what we're going to be doing in this stream. We're gonna keep an eye out on the Discord for now. So I'll just show you how to join the Discord real quick. Guess figured that some people might have trouble with that. Some people don't really know how to use Discord. So let me just show you how to do it right now. I'll just move this text over here for now. So all you need to do, the link is also down in the description of this live stream, but all you need to do is go to dreadlabs.net/discord. And this will immediately take you to the Discord app if you have it already installed on your computer. And this will let you join the Dreadlabs Discord server. So as of now, we don't really have any people sending in designs yet. So I guess what we can do is just scroll back a little bit because I haven't really been catching up with the Discord. So I figured until we get some designs, I will just go over some stuff that people will just send over. And yeah, if you're watching right now and you need feedback on a design, something that you're currently working on, you can just drop it in the Discord. So let me just scroll back until I figured I given feedback on this already. But there may be some stuff that I skipped, I'm not sure. We got some requests, and someone from our Discord server called Scorpy is currently working on a logo design. I figured we can take a look at that a little bit further. Let me just check. This was from last week, I think. Yeah. So this is some work from a Discord member called Shikari, which is insanely dope. I think this is reference material, to be honest. Oh yeah, this isn't Tim Truman stuff. But this is actually really cool. So only thing that I would be changing maybe is like the all caps Gothic letters. I'm not personally like a really big fan of that. I would just change, maybe like add a little frame, because that would really fit this like punk aesthetic. Let me just show you if I can. Maybe I'll show you a reference from something that I did a couple of years back to kind of like explain what I mean. So during my Creatober challenge, I did one with the word church, which is this one. It's kind of like has the same vibe to it, other than the fact that this is all white and this is all black, but the colors are basically inverted. I do prefer the typography of this one over this one, but yeah, this is kind of like the frame that would probably be working with a design like this. I do have a book on this as well. Let me check real quick. It's over here. It's called Death Metal Graphics. So let me just change the camera real quick. So let me just go to here and then go to the top view so you can see what I mean. This book has like all these cool. Let me just zoom out. Can I zoom out with this? There we go. So there's a lot of really cool death metal graphics in here. So if you're looking for any reference material on this type of design style, this one is really, really nice. Anyways, what's up, Santiago? How are you doing, man? Good to see you. I just uploaded the poster design to Discord, so let me just check that out real quick. I'll just jump to the present and we'll change the way. So, okay. Hi Tom, here's an experimental poster I did the other day. I would love any feedback. Ooh, this is awesome. I love it. So I think we were looking at a texture of like a steel or metal beam, if I'm correct. So what's really, really cool is that I think you masked a really, really grungy map out of and did like another texture in the back, if I'm looking at it correctly. So the masking itself is really, really nicely done. What I would probably do is you can kind of see that there's a similar pattern over the letters here. And because of this, the text is like, it still looks a little bit straight, if you know what I mean. So what you could do in order to fix it, let me just show you on Photoshop real quick. And that's basically just to break the pattern of like this completely straight letters. Let me just show you by making a new document. And let's make a white background and some black text. I think this is just, let me just see if I can find a similar font. I'll just do swear by Ono Typeco. And I'll just type in, what is it that your poster said? I'll just type in something that I'm not really sure. Because I don't really know what it says. Oh wait. So I'll just make 2 rows of text real quick to show you. I think what you did was use a, if I'm correct, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think what you used is a like a wave to distort your text. So let me just convert this to a smart object, and I'll just recreate what you made a kind of little bit. You use filter gallery. Okay, so then I think that you use the brush strokes filter. Is that a thing? I think it is. So a way that you can distort this really easily is with let's see. So the waves, if you go to filter, distort wave, and you just make a whole bunch of generators, but then make these like really small. So maybe between 1 and 5, 1 and 5, and 5 and 5%. It's still a little bit too much. So maybe do 2 and 2%. So this is like for the small detailed rough edges, maybe like this. So this kind of roughens the text up like in a small sense, but it's still like really, you can still see in the design that it's like really straight. So another thing that you can do is do another wave and then just make them really, really big, like really, really big. So lower the amplitude, like just with min max of 1 and 2. You can kind of see it here. This is maybe a little bit too drastic, but now it's kind of wavy, if that makes sense. Another thing you can do this is by just going to edit, transform, and do some warping. So maybe like this is already enough. You can add in more points with the warp here, but this way it's like not really as 100% straight anymore, if that makes sense. Even if we remove the warp, the second wave. So another thing that you can do to really add some like roughness in here in the text, I think you already maybe done it with the displacement map, but let's just show you if you don't really know how to do it. You can go to filter displays and then just go to, let me just see. If you have any displacement maps, but they're really easy to make from textures. I'll just if you do not know how to make displacement maps, let me you can just ask in the live chat and I can show you. But I think my Rave Essential spec has some. And now, as you can see, these like roughened parts have appeared, and if we just move them around so that the wave is after the displacement map, you can actually have some more, and you can basically do this however many times you like. You can just stack all of these filters on top of each other if you have a smart object, so you can even do 50 and 50. That's maybe a little bit too much, but maybe if we change the blend mode, if we double click on this little icon right here, maybe not the opacity, but let's just do 25 by 25 and then just leave the opacity up to 100, and this way you can get some really rough text where it's like not really like there's random stuff going on here, and it doesn't really look as if it's what to say, like it's really like it doesn't really look a little bit perfect, if that makes sense. So yeah, I hope this helps, man. But I love the concept. It's really like this really natural vibe to it, and I've been really into that stuff lately. So Momsatmac, what's up, man? Thank you so much for joining the live stream. The channel, you can just send it in the general channel. Should it be a flattened image or Photoshop file? You can do a flattened image, and if you want me to fix stuff, then I can probably maybe do the PSD file, but I prefer to just do it as an image because yeah, I'm just not that I don't really trust you, but I don't really want to get too many files on my computer because I have to clean it up all after, But yeah, looking at this design, I love it, Santiago. Thank you so much for sending it in. And I really love the concept. I've been really into these like natural posters, if that makes sense. I think maybe I showed this already on another stream, but just some Pinterest stuff that I've been really liking. Also, Instagram stuff is also like based on these natural posters. So here's some stuff that I've been really into, and I think that really matches your aesthetic. These are all from Dan Barkle, if you know him. He's an amazing designer. They're like these really organic looking textures, and this one as well. It just really has some really organic feel to it rather than like really clean. I really like it. Awesome, man. So yeah. Momsatmac, you can just send it in here, the general chat. So actually, while I'm waiting for you to send in your design, there you go. Lemon juice. Are you Momsatmac or is that the same? Ooh, also a lot of really natural textures. It's awesome. Thanks. He is into this style and I really like it. Thanks for the inspiration. Yeah, you too for joining the Discord, Santiago. So yeah, this is awesome. We got this is Momsatmac. Lemon juice was just a little bit quicker. So the nice thing about this live stream now is that because there aren't that many people, I can just take a lot of time to give feedback like really thoroughly, compared to some streams where it was a little bit more busy and then I have to rush some of them. So if I see it correctly, I do see a Dreadlabs asset in here, or at least something inspired by the Dreadlabs Metal Heart Essentials. These like hexagons here in the back. So I really like this tribal. I like the bump texture on it. It's also really part of that like natural stuff that I've been really into lately. So yeah, I might be biased, but that's why I really like it as well. So I do like the color combination. Maybe the green in the background can be a little bit more contrasting to this like nice muted green. Maybe like a gray or like a dark gray, or maybe like the orange to have more contrast in the whole composition. I'm not sure if that needs to be done, but it's something I would love to experiment with if I was working on this. So I do like the bevel and embossing in the background. These like, I think they're like screws or something here in the background. Maybe have them a little bit sharper. One thing. Oh yeah, now I know that this is the Dreadlabs Metal Heart Essentials because there's a Dutch sentence in this code which is from my graduation project actually. So I know that this code layer is from me. But anyways, maybe like, so one thing in the background that that I notice is that there's a difference in blurriness of each image. So the rivets or the screws are really blurry. The bevel and emboss also has like a nice fade between black and white in there. And then the code layer and the hexagon overlay are really sharp. So maybe if you blur them a little bit more, it feels more like it's actually all on the same screen. Because I feel like, you know, the vibe this is giving off is like a computer screen or something. What's up, Jason? Thank you for tuning in. You need to wait 10 minutes before you can share anything. Oh, really? Is that a rule? Maybe that's my fault. I think also if you read the rules or something, isn't that like the whole thing? That you need to read the rules of the Discord and then you can just post? I'm not really a Discord genius. I'm kind of a boomer on that kind of stuff. I do like the distressing on these like stone textures. The embossing on here also feels really nice. This icon and the barcode could, and the top text as well, could use a little bit of distressing. They're also like, just like in this example, they're a little bit too sharp and perfect for the rest of the grunginess. And the way you can achieve that, as I just showed it to Santiago, is if you, let's say you have this like really sharp text and this is a smart object in Photoshop, you can use displacement maps to add in like randomness in the texture, I guess, in the edges, and a wave distortion. Really, like the more generators you put in here, the more random distortion around the edges also happens. Because if we just do this, or maybe that's too little, maybe just do 5 or something. I think, yeah, this is just too little. Never mind. Anyways, if you add more more of these waves, then that will mean that the more will be distorted with different kinds of waveforms, if that makes sense. And then with, maybe you don't really need this in your case, with like a really subtle box blur of 1 pixel. But if you would lower the displacement to maybe like, I don't know, 10 by 10, something like this would kind of fit the edges around here as well. Maybe not if they're like imprints, so maybe a little bit more subtle with the displacement maps, with like some really subtle wave distortions to make the edge not feel as straight, if that makes sense. But I love this. This is awesome work. Thank you so much for sending it in, Lemon Juice. So we got Momsatmac with a manga poster or anime poster. Deco Beats. So this is a flyer, I think, right? Just checking out. Okay, so this is DICQ beats, Dr. Crow, Momsatmac, and Cullen. So I think this is a liner. Am I correct? Yeah, show flyer. Okay, awesome. I like the tribal figures in the background with the outline on the right. Fits the aesthetic as well. Yeah, the whole aesthetic fits together. The only thing that I think is a little bit difficult to make out is so the illustration of the manga character compared to, for example, the text, as well as like some of the rest of the processing, is there some difference in processing and quality. So if we zoom, can I zoom in here? Yeah. So there are some JPEG artifacts on this manga character, and I actually really do like that. That adds to like how natural the flyer looks almost. And yeah, the same can be said. Like the same cannot be really said with these, with the text, for example. Like there's some texture on them, but the edges are a little bit too perfect compared to how like janky the edges of this thing are. So what you could probably do is, if you don't really want to have that like traditional random stuff that I just showed you with like the wave distortion, is grab some of these assets or parts of your flyer and either add a threshold effect on them or scale them up and down or down and up, and change the anti-aliasing to nearest neighbor sharp, which kind of results in the edges that you can see here. And I actually really like that for the flyer here. I also really do like this thing. I'm not sure what it is, but I see it here in the background as well, I think. I think the white parts here are like the white shapes in the background are adding some depth. So I would probably leave those in. Sorry, I'm really saying a lot, but I hope this is helping so far. I'm not really 100% sure about like the opacity. So I see it here, and I see it behind the text here as well with the lower opacity. And the reason why I'm not really sure about it is if this were to simulate a photocopy or Xerox printed flyer or poster, these things usually don't really have that much depth when it comes to like how many colors they can print or how many grayscales they can print. And this is also why I can kind of see the difference between like well, not only the colors, but also like the edge around this is really thin, and then the edge here is really thick, and then here is really sharp again. So if you just put all of that in the same processing, I think that will unify the poster a little bit more. If that makes sense, let me just see if I can do that manually in Photoshop. So I'll just paste in your flyer real quick and do like a threshold. So as you can see, like I really like these JPEG artifacts. So maybe what you can do is, I'm just gonna make a noise layer. So I'm just gonna fill this in with noise. Oh wait, just fill this in with my foreground color, which is black, and then I'll add noise to this. Maybe like 25%. And then I'll just change the blend mode to screen. So now these, maybe just also, I'll just add in some levels to increase the contrast of the noise so that it kind of matches with this, because it's now one color because of the threshold. But so as you can see now, like these sharp edges, of course this is like simulated a little bit weird because I'm just putting a threshold over your poster, and just for the quick texture idea, I just drop in a quick noise from one of my asset packs. But yeah, now like this, the lines here are like the same sharpness, if that makes sense. As well as here, maybe now look into the balance of the thickness, because now like I would probably make it so that the outlines here, like the frame and the lines of the text as well as the lines of the shapes, are around the same width, so that it kind of matches the whole thing a little bit more. If that makes sense to you, of course. If this is a little bit like too advanced, oh yeah, okay, this makes sense. Awesome. And also because of this threshold, like you can kind of see what happens with the opacity as well. Like if you go around here, then one of them doesn't really make sense anymore. But composition wise and in terms of the elements and stuff, this looks sick. If I would look at this flyer when I would just pass by it, I would definitely check it out further. So what kind of event is it? I'm kind of curious now. So we got another one from, I cannot see the name, but I assume this is someone in the chat. So we got an EP cover right here. Alright, so we got a lot of processing in here. I see some dithering at the bottom. I see a 3D render. I see illustration. More 3D maybe? So yeah, I do like it. I really do like the concept. The typography is insane. It looks almost like the writing itself almost looks natural, like hand drawn. So that's really, really cool. The gutted EP might be, I think it's kind of like in the way of how cool the gutted like blood typography is almost. So maybe I just move it like further down, or maybe in the corner somewhere. And I think I would scale up the illustration of like the dead body to go like further behind the gutted part, so that like the I think it's his intestine or something goes like behind the T, so that the whole composition becomes more like a center thing. And if you move it down a little bit more, I would maybe drop this in the background in the same style as like the duplication of the illustration here. If that makes sense. Now it's kind of like a random badge in the top left, but since it's also like a symmetric shape and the whole composition kind of feels symmetrical, it would probably be better if we just drop this in the background with that like grayed out like dither effect that you have going on right here. And I would maybe experiment with like how far you want the dither to affect your whole artwork. I do like it on the illustration in the background, so I reckon that it will really look nice on this as well. I'm not really sure about it here though. Like it's because you can kind of see the blood 3D typography, and I'm just wondering whether it would look cooler if you go full on dither with it, or if it would just look cooler if you just like use it as an overlay, like you have a dithered image and there's just blood over the completely different dithered image, if that makes sense. It's real paint. That's awesome. What's up, Sosa Productions? How you doing? Ooh, it's a rave sort of thing. Hardstyle Break or Gobber. Ooh, awesome. I would definitely go to that. Where is the base? Is it in the Netherlands? By any chance? So it's real paint. It's awesome. So you scan this in, I think, and then is it a photo or like? And is just the shine on the paint really realistic, or is it just scanned in, flattened, and then turned into 3D software? or like a bevel and emboss effect in Photoshop or something like that. Yeah, it's really sick. I like it. I think, yeah, just like I said, like composition wise, maybe like play around with it a little bit more and check if you want the dithering to happen, because maybe the dithering only makes sense with the background image and then just leave the rest as it is. Massachusetts, USA. Okay, a little bit far for me. I take a picture of the light hitting it. So real shit, awesome. I was wondering, like, this is really cool. This is really good 3D render, but then okay, so it's so good that it's actually a picture. But that's awesome. Got some mixed media going on. Yeah, the real. I love it. I would probably, if I were you, I would. Do you do more with it? Because like I reckon there's a lot of bands and artists that would love a logo design in this style. Maybe even like as a black and white logo and stuff like that. That would probably work. Yeah, good job. So we got someone else here. I cannot really see the names anymore because my streamer mode's enabled, but hopefully that's okay. So we got 2 versions of a flyer. Oh wait, this is the album art angles. I think Jack made this, right? So, most recent commission. Sila Bar. Ooh, I like how this is kind of just the fact that the picture is upside down is kind of messing with my head a little bit. I do like the additional illustrations, like the doodly things, especially like the little like asterisk signs. What might be cool is if you do that, like I think the ribbons, or not sure, the cables are hand drawn. Maybe if I'm not sure if these are hand drawn though. Maybe if they were like a little bit more intentionally hand drawn, if that makes sense, that would be sick. But just the vibe I'm getting off this flyer is already something that I think like that this sparks my interest. This seems like an event I would definitely visit. Illustrator with a brush. That's sick. Yeah, I like the idea that this is all hand drawn. So there's this designer who does like these mixed media animations. I'm just gonna see if I can find her. What's her name again? I'm not sure if I'd be able to find her. Maybe in my saved posts somewhere. I'm just gonna check real quick because I think this person does some stuff that will really match well with this flyer. Just to give you some further ideas on like that hand-drawn thing I keep talking about. So let me check real quick. I have so many saved posts at this point. Am I getting close? I hope so. It's probably like a let me just show this to you so you can just watch along, otherwise it will be like probably like a very boring live stream. So now you can kind of see some cool stuff. This is what I've like have saved in my Instagram. So we're nearing the first stuff, so I think we skipped it. Maybe I didn't save posts of her, or I think her name's Anna something. So now this is all, like a long time ago already now, this stuff. Anna? think this is her. Yeah, I think so. So she does these like mixed media animations. Let me just show one to you real quick to give you an idea. Like these are scanned in frame by frame, and just like the, you know, like the illustration style and like how rough it is would, I think, work really well with like this type of flyer, if that makes sense to you. Like just like have the like little flower or the asterisks like move around a little bit like this, and you know, have these like things appear a little bit more. Yeah, but yeah, I like the colors. I really like the colors of the flyer. I do love the like that. Yeah, it still messes with my head, the upside down picture. Maybe I would add in like a subtle like fade around the edges of like the silk word, so that it's a little bit more thick, like these illustrations on the side. But it might just be that this is the actual logo of the client, which, you know, would that make it unable for you to do that. And for some reason I feel like this text is like simple sans serif font, so in my opinion would look pretty cool if you just do everything lowercase, but that's basically it. Made this artwork as an exploration. Yeah, it just came to mind, and I feel like, ooh, this is sick. So yeah, what kind of wondering what I'm looking at here. Like, this is really cool, like angel devil. Is this an illustration? It looks so realistic that I'm like, is this like photo manipulation, illustration, AI? I like the processing on it a lot. Like it looks really like a vintage airbrush. I asked for it to be thinner, yeah. I'd be like that sometimes, yeah. You're right, with like clients, like not really messing up the process, but just like doing something in something that you might not agree with, I guess. But yeah, good job, man. Photo manipulation, that's awesome. So this is sick, like. Okay, so where I can kind of see it is where, because the eyes aren't mirrored, but that works actually, like that actually works really well with like the duality thing, like because he's looking like innocent here, and like the same eye, just not even mirrored, looks evil in that way. That's awesome. And this would go great on a t-shirt. Oh, we got some typography in there as well. Yo, this is actually sick. I would buy this if you just put it up. I don't really have any feedback for this. I love the processing. The only thing that I would be kind of like on edge about is how would you go about printing this? Because like a DTG printing would be kind of difficult to do. I don't know what that means, Santiago. I think that's Santiago, right? But still, man, I just love those vintage airbrush. So I'm wondering, Theon, I think you are. I'm gonna go on a whim here and say that you're Sosa Productions, because I'm not really sure actually, but why would it be good? So because I think the design's really like fading, and the transparency fade is often really difficult to print. You get these really weird like glue layers, if that makes sense. There's probably ways around it though, but like when I did like faded stuff on DTG printing, it will be it would look weird, I guess. But yeah, I love it. If you ever decide to print this, I would definitely send me a link. And I'm kind of curious about the processing. So, is this like done with like a Doron plugin or something like that, or is this? Yeah, it just looks really sick. So yeah, if there's not any more people who... Oh, there we go, another one. Some chrome spiders. So I'm looking at a cover artwork, I think. Right? I do like... So this would look sick on a motion design, I think. Like have this like move around. Like the cool like heads-up display things in the background would be moving. I do like the model looks a little bit low poly maybe, but that's I guess fine. It's a cover artwork, yeah, it's mine. Insta does move, it was to be exposed in the screen. Oh, okay. What's your Instagram? And I'll just look you up manually, and then I'll check it out. Can certainly find you more images, something 3D for a change. One. Studio TGY. Okay, let me just look you up for a second. Studio TGY. There you go. Ooh, we got some nice shine going on. Awesome. Okay, so it's a cover artwork that you're just selling, if I'm correct. Yeah, this was look cool if you would just like add in motion effects in the background, like have these circles, like these ellipses go like bigger and smaller, just move these stuff around so you get like a... Let me just check if I have like a reference for myself. It's not really the same, but these are some old show visuals for a friend of mine. I think it's this one. Which one is it? Well, this is kind of like this thing in the background would probably like kind of work with your spider. And this is not really like similar style, but you can kind of see that there's like a lot of different elements in one heads-up display that would like make it so you kind of want to look everywhere in the background. But since it's in the background and the spider is mainly on the forefront, that would kind of work really well. And I do like the spider here as well, and I think you chose to like keep it clean without any textures for the sake of it being chrome art, right? I'm still checking Discord, yeah. You can just send it in. Nice work. This is the original photo. This kit was made with AI. That's sick, dude. That's some lovely processing that you got over there. Yo, did you make this? That's sick. Really specific, but that's really sick. Oh, we got a 3D phone render. Yo. It's really nice dramatic lighting. It's awesome. Maybe, I think this is in the roughness map, right? Maybe make it a little bit more subtle, but at the same time it kind of looks really nice damaged. But the mapping around here, around the edges, is a little bit weird. But I encountered this problem as well, and now I'm just like really zooming in at it. But yeah, the whole like the embossing on it is really nicely done. How did you do it? With like a bump map, or with is this actual modeling? I'm curious. It's cool. Ooh, my monitor is almost going out. Phone render is inspired by John Wick. This model of the phone is generated by AI, so it's kind of weird. Yeah, I was wondering, like, I've never seen a phone like this before, but it looks really, really heavy on the bottom if you just pick it up. But ornaments and other stuff is maybe awesome. So yeah, did you do the ornaments like in the bump map or in the displacement map or just model it on top? The phone is a Nokia Sirocco. Let me just look that up, because if it's a Nokia, it will probably also double as a hammer. Ah, okay, yeah, so this is what it's inspired by. Never had one of these. Would be cool if you make it so that because it slides like open. It would be cool if you would slide it open and there would be something inside. Maybe like some tentacles lurking. Maybe work together and get like this spider to lurk out of this. Like, you know, once it opens, it's not actually, the buttons aren't actually there, but then there's like a hole with like something else in there. It would actually go for a really sick animation, I guess. Something like that. Ornaments made in Illustrator and Illustrator 3D. Sick. I love it. Oh, and I only now just see the Nokia type, I think. Does it say Nokia? It's a little bit difficult to see. That's your logo. Awesome. It says 7 Gora? How should I pronounce it? Oh, now I can see it. I love the X. I love how it sticks out of the rest. Yeah, you know, guys, what I really like about these sessions is, even though I'm giving feedback on your designs, I'm actually really getting a lot of inspiration from this as well, and I really feel like creating more and more. Ah, there we go. Yeah. The logo. Awesome. I like the cutout, like you move it over there. I figured, because of looking at it from this angle, I figured that the X will be like stretched out a little bit more, like instead of this going like further out, I guess. That would also be pretty cool, I feel like. And maybe like round off the 7 at the bottom. Well, yeah, like kind of like here, I guess. It looks sick. I love it. But yeah, like I was saying, I'm just really getting inspired by all of your work as well. Just, you know, like I do a lot of stuff throughout the week, whether it's like creating videos or tutorials or client work, and sometimes I don't really get in enough time for free work. And thanks to you guys and thanks to these sessions, I actually really get inspired to do more of that. So yeah, thank you guys. So we have about 10 minutes left until we end off the stream. It's actually been a really busy day for me, so if you remember, I also made, ooh, yeah, I remember that. That was sick. You're really into like old media or old tech, I guess. Sick. I love that one as well. But yeah, we have about 10 minutes left to do some more feedback stuff if you guys have any. But it's been a really hectic week for me, as I had a really big client, 2 really big client projects this week. One of them was like kind of more like corporate stuff, but I had to create a whole like campaign rollout in one day. At least I planned the whole day for it, so I made it in one day. And then during the week I got like how do you say, it's like a, I'm not sure how to say, I just got a Dutch word in my head for it, but like a real like a lyric video that I had to make, and the deadline was in 1 week, and I actually managed to do it in I think the scope of 3 days or something. So it was really hectic, but I'm really happy with the end result. And but because of that, I'm kind of like a little bit tired. So on one hand, I want to get to creating myself a little bit more maybe tonight, and on the other hand, I feel like just chilling out a little bit more. What I might do, if people are interested, is just like, rather than just streaming it on YouTube, just share my screen on the Discord and just hang out in the voice channel for a while. If I get to creating tonight, but I'm not really sure yet. I have to have dinner first and then just see if I have enough energy to do it. Anyways, we got some really sick grungy punk flyer by Tacos. So we got some sick inversion going on here, which I really do like. I love how it's all over the place in terms of everything, basically. I just like, the more I didn't even saw this type at first, like the spider webs in the background. It's pretty sick. We got a nice processing on around the edges of the text, maybe a little bit too sharp compared to the illustrations. What you would be able to do is maybe like make them a little bit larger. So a way to do that, let me just show you real quick if you're curious, is, or maybe I'm just gonna experiment with this a little bit more, but test something like this and then make it a little bit larger, or straight. And then we'll just do like a subtle drop shadow to add in a little bit of fade around the text, like this. We'll convert this into a smart object, and we'll do like the wave thing, and maybe we'll even add some grain with the filter gallery, some clumped grain. Oh, the wrong smart object. So filter gallery, and we'll just do grain clumped. Why can I not zoom in? Oh, here. And we'll just increase the contrast. Not sure really why I don't really see anything. Maybe it's just because it's gray. Oh, there we go. Okay. Just gonna make this 50% gray, I guess. I'm just experimenting here to see if I can help you out with this, but yeah. Let's go back to this one, and yeah, this is way too much. Something like this, I guess, and then if you now just drop in like a threshold, or like maybe like a levels. Let's just do a levels and make it black and white. So black and white, levels. This way you can also have like some of that, you know, like it's a little bit more jagged now compared to like a really sharp displacement map, if that makes sense. What's up, Profess? How are you doing? Sorry for going on this weird little tangent, Tacos, but I really do like the flyer, but I had like maybe an idea to improve upon the text, so I hope this helps. But that kind of gives off more of like that ink-blotted effect that you kind of see in the illustrations here as well. Another thing that would maybe be pretty cool is, so it's also kind of like the purpose of the design, I feel like, but if you want to have a little bit more unity in the colors, because now you have this inversion going on with the mask, I think, right? Like you did like an invert layer, and then I think you just grabbed like maybe a grunge brush or some textures or something like that, and you did like kind of something like this. I'm just gonna go and make something red here so you can kind of see what I want to achieve, I guess. So the problem with the inversion technique is that once you paint something like red and it turns blue, that kind of gives off a contrast that, well, you might like. If you like it, I'm not saying anything. My personal taste, it's because it's always like a really big difference between warm and cold. What I tend to do in stuff like this is I would leave the black and white inversion, but I would change the blue back to red, and you can do that by simply doing an adjustment layer and then just invert the hue to 180 and then just do the same mask. So now you have kind of like the red going on still, but then the black and white is still there, if that makes sense. Maybe that makes it a little less hectic, if that makes sense. Hope that works. I feel like the storm parts with the negative effect on them would look better if it was just white. Turquoise isn't giving. Oh yeah, maybe. Try to first white at first when I want to try something else. Yeah, but maybe if you leave it red or maybe black, you can also just do a gradient map, right? Like for example, if you just use the same map as the inversion, what you can do is just do something like this. And okay, so the original thing is this, so the inversion is taking place here. Yeah, so something like this, I guess, you know, like and then change the contrast a little bit more, so that the cold colors of the blue are just gone, and you can keep it more in tone with like the dark and the red and the stuff like that. I hope that makes sense. Oh, we got some more stuff in here. So it's some beginner experimentations. Text doesn't mean anything. I do like it, however. What does it say? Does it even say anything? Global glooby booga forever. It's nice. It's some nice processing on here. The background texture could use a screen texture as well. I think I now only see a multiply texture, which only gives off the shadows of the rock or concrete. And if you duplicate the layer and then just make it really light, or maybe really dark, sorry, and then just you also get the highlights of that texture, if that makes sense. So that will work really well. The processing, I do like the shadow behind it. It creates a lot of depth, which is really nice. The colorways is also really cool. Maybe the black characters could use some subtle texture as well to make it look like it's also part of like some organic stuff like rock, if that makes sense. Yeah, I like it. So we got some sick cover artwork here. This will probably work really well for a hip-hop artist. Dash plus Cinema 4D. Yo, this looks sick. So the centering of the sticker may need some work, as well as the processing on there. Maybe have it look like it's a little bit better, like more like it's printed, if that makes sense. Something that we kind of work our way around. And another thing is, I'm not sure if I'm looking at it wrong. Oh, it might just be me. I think you have like a grunge background and you have like the edges around here. I figured at first that if the text was going behind the edges, but that was just me looking at it funnily. If that makes sense. Yeah, I like it. I like it 3D. Maybe you could use a little bit of processing so make it look like it's actually also printed. Maybe like a halftone color processing on it or something like that. If you like use the vinyl textures, do something similar on the 3D render as well. But yeah, love the concept. Would probably work really well for a hip hop artist. So we got some 3D renders from Rovast here. Yo, we got an Umbreon card with some really sick frame. That would look really, really cool. Ooh, so realistic that it kind of like messes with me a little bit. Ooh, talking about that. That's sick. That's really, really sick though. It's really nice work. Kind of looks realistic as well. Super sick work, Rovet. This is Roves, right? Yeah, I think. Wow, I do like this, like the logo underneath the eye. Looks like a mold, kinda. This one as well. Like, also the lighting is really nice. Maybe like have the lighting go a little bit more front to have like highlights on there, but it looks really, really sick. Yeah, your 3D stuff. I love this so much. I would get a frame like this for my cards. Ooh, we got some more organic processing in here. Love it, love it, love it, love it. So we got some. Ooh, this is where to start. Let me just grab a sip of water here. Okay, so this is the last call. If there's anyone watching the live stream right now and you still want to have feedback on your design, you have 1 minute to send it over and I'll just check it out. And then I'm gonna have some dinner. So, we got someone else typing. I'm gonna check this one out. So it's a little bit difficult. I just love the aesthetic of it. I like the green subtle elements. Also in the background, like it's like paper shining through. Together with like the blue inversions. It has a really nice balance between organic and computer processed. So something that I might do to improve it is to add in a really subtle like shadow bleed into the black parts. Like maybe I can find some reference material. Do they have it? Looks kind of similar though. So this one doesn't have it. Let me check real quick if I have something. Oh, here we go. As you can see, there's like a really subtle slight shadow around it. I actually made a tutorial about it, but it's not up yet. Where is it again? I think this one. So, as you can see, there's like a kind of like a shadow in this. I can actually turn it on and off if you want to. So yeah, this is without, and this is with that shadow. Maybe that will work. That would maybe look sick on this. Maybe a little bit difficult because there's some really thin lines in there, but you can maybe experiment with that. And other than that, like it's just pretty sick. I don't really know what to say about it. I love it, man. Maybe some slight texturing on the. You can really see that it's not textured here. Like it's difficult to see in here, but maybe that, like have it blend in with just a little bit with the background texture or something like that. Yeah, the ASCIIs are cool. Also, like I like that they're upside down. And I also not really know what I'm looking at, but I love it. It's sick. I'm gonna actually, if you're okay with this, I'm gonna save it for my personal inspiration. As well with some other stuff. I'll just do this after the stream. So, ooh, we got one more to Yujiro trading card for your upcoming project. Okay, this is the last one I'm gonna check out. But it's sick. It's a ooh, I do like the background processing on it. Depending on the project, I think you are going to drop this into 3D still. Maybe, I'm not sure. If you do, then I would leave it like this because. But if you want to do like a printed effect, then maybe add some texturing and some print processing. Saving a person. Everything's just basically saying everything's love this. Antoine, Antoine, you're the person who made this, right? I think. It's sick, dude. Could you also let me know in the chat what your Instagram is, because I want to follow you if you make more like this. But yeah, but this is sick. Maybe what would be cool is if you have like the white parts of the text and in the card itself, like the outline and stuff, to make it look like it's printed on like holographic texture, like on, where is it? So these are by Cody Vondel. Shout out to him. If the texture pack loads them. So this is some holographic stuff, like, you know, like make it look like it's printed on here. It will probably look sick. To get into the, like, the trading card rarity a little bit more would be awesome. Only France. That's a sick name. Yeah, thank you also so much for sending in your design work. It's been, I feel like it's been more inspiring for me to see and get inspired by, rather than giving you guys useful feedback. So for the people I gave you feedback to, I hope that I was able to give you enough feedback and that you will be able to do something with it. The live stream will be able to, you can just watch it back later if you know, if you weren't around but you wanted to send in something or you want to learn for something. So because I did explain a couple of principles, especially in the beginning of the live stream, about like randomness on edges and stuff like that, making stuff look natural. Oh, I tried to upload but still locked. Oh wow. So don't worry if you weren't able to send in your designs for this stream. What I'm gonna do actually right now during this stream is I'm going to make a design feedback channel. So this is just to drop in your designs, and I will just review it next stream, because I'm planning on doing a design feedback stream on a monthly basis. So in about a month, around the end of May, I will do one more, and you can just drop it in there and I'll just go over it from top till bottom, if it doesn't really get flooded, of course. Yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Basically, let me check if there's anything I want to plug. Yeah, if you want to support Dreadlabs, support the channel. I've been really consistently live streaming and uploading more tutorials. The tutorials are coming your way. Yeah, like video content, assets, stuff like that. I'm also working on a couple of freebies, which I hope to be releasing in the coming 2 to 3 months. But if you would like to support the channel, that would actually be really, really great and really be helpful to me, because that would make me be able to keep on doing Dreadlabs full time. It's especially during the recession right now, it's been difficult, because you definitely see a lot of dips in like terms of sales and stuff like that. And I really understand where you're coming from. Like, if you are on a budget, it's really difficult to buy asset packs, because it's probably the first thing that you wouldn't spend money on in a recession. So yeah, I don't want to like force anyone to support me financially and buy asset packs from me or stuff like that. But if you do want to, I have a big discount going on right now for my birthday. If you want to learn more about that, check out my Instagram page. And yeah, you can basically get all of my products for 50% off. And there's also a couple of early Dreadlabs asset packs that are slashed in half. Another way to support Dreadlabs is going to the Patreon page, where you get, for just $5 a month or $10 a month, you'll get access to like a ton of PSD files, project files that I've used for my tutorials, Creatober series, stuff like that. Another way to support it, if you don't really have the budget, which I can really imagine in this time, is you can just, you know, watch videos on YouTube, because that will also give me ad revenue. Liking the videos, subscribing to the channel, of course, sharing the videos with people that might be interested in my content as well, so the channel can grow a little bit more and my channel gets exposed to new viewers. And yeah, just be active in the Discord, helping each other out. All of that stuff supports me indirectly, and it's also free. So with all of that being said, thank you so much for just joining me on this live stream. Hopefully see you guys next time. And yeah, with all of that being said, this is Tom from Dreadlabs tuning out. Thank you so much for watching, and I hopefully see you guys next week. Bye bye.